Hello to my kings, queens, and in-betweens. I'm Valerie, and welcome to my channel, The Bookish Valkyrie. This is the third week in NaNoWriMo, and I'm sitting at about 3,500 words. I have had a slow couple of days, but I'm hoping to do a little catch-up over the next week. I will let you know how it's going with each check-in. Hello, it is about 9:30 at night, and I am just over 4,000 words. I'm basically done outlining and doing some character sketches for one of my short stories, and I started working on a list of inspirations, I guess, for one of the other ones. Again, this is all stuff I probably should have done as a Prep-tober sort of thing, but I didn't do Prep-tober. I was too busy doing Halloween Weekend. So that's where I'm at right now on the writing project. And then I wanted to do a quick reading check-in. I am a few chapters into White Trash Zombie Gone Wild. It is book 5 of the White Trash Zombie series, and it is one of the harder ones for me to read. It's really, overall good, but it's definitely a harder read for me personally. I get a little frustrated because there is some character backsliding, but it's something, trying not to do any spoilers because it's 5 books deep, but the backsliding is something that I think probably needed to happen for her character arc, for Angel's character arc, but at the same time, it's hard to read it. So I don't hate it. It's actually a really solid story. It's just hard for me to read. And to keep up with the theme of Volume 5, I am reading the 5th volume of Lore Olympus by Rachel Smythe, or Smith. I never know how to pronounce it. I like to say Smythe, but I'm sure it's meant to be Smith. But anyway, I read it originally on Webtoons, and I keep up with it on Webtoons, but I'm really enjoying the physical copies as they come out. It's definitely a different experience in the physical format, and the pictures are just so beautiful. I mean, look at that. I don't know how well it shows up on screen, but look at that. Look how beautiful it is. I love it. So anyway, I'm having a good time reading this, and that is what I am up to right now. I'll do another check-in tomorrow. Hello, it is... what is today? It is Monday, the 13th, and I just finished wrapping up my filming for the video that I will be posting before this video gets posted. And I haven't done a ton of NaNoWriMo today. I think I wrote maybe 125 words, something like that. And I'm probably going to spend the rest of the night editing the video that I just finished so I can have it up tomorrow. But I am still plugging away at Nano, and I will keep you updated. Hello, it is Tuesday, and I am just headed out to run some errands. I have a couple of Pangobooks that I sold that I need to get out to my buyers, so I'm going to take care of that and drop some things off at the libraries, plural, because I have things out from both libraries. And I may look and see if they have any materials that I think will help me with my writing. I'm kind of stuck at a point where I think I need to do a little bit more research, so the writing is pretty limited right now. I mean, it's already limited to begin with because of my hands, but I'm definitely getting to a point in the writing where I need to figure out a few details. So I'm going to see if there's anything that the library has that I can use for references. And yeah, I'll check in again with you guys once I've done some writing. Hello! Apparently today is just gonna be a car update kind of day. I did my writing for the day. I wrote a little over 300 words, and I'm sitting at about 4,200 something words, and I'm feeling good about the starting points that I've made for several of the short stories, but I really need to start digging in and get at least one full story written, especially since we are halfway there. Tomorrow's literally halfway, so I really need to do a dig in and get shit done kind of day. But anyhow, I am on my way to get tacos, and figured that I might as well get the update done while I was still thinking about it, because my ADHD has been running rampant lately, and I cannot guarantee that I will remember to do an update once I get home with food. So happy Taco Tuesday, and I'll catch you in the next update. Hello, it is Wednesday, and I have written a few hundred words. So, I've written, but I'm really kind of feeling the fatigue, of the writing process. And, so I think I'm going to take the rest of the night to myself just to kind of recharge my batteries. And I think also tomorrow morning I'm going to try, a writing method, or workshopping method, I guess is probably better, that the Utah Elsewhere Rhymos were talking about last night in the Discord. And I guess it's called Talking to a Rubber Duck. Like, it kind of makes me want to go out and get an actual rubber duck. But the idea is that if you talk through the plot or the scene that you're struggling with, then like out loud, as if you're talking to a rubber duck sitting next to your computer or your writing space, that the process of saying it out loud helps unlock whatever it is that's keeping you stuck. So I think I will probably give that a go in the morning. But for tonight, I've hit a wall and I'm just gonna take the rest of the day to finish reading. Speaking of, I did finish reading White Trash Zombie Gone Wild, and it was hard to read, like I was saying earlier, but it definitely wasn't as hard as I remembered reading. Like, the hard part was a shorter section of the plot than I remember it being. I think maybe just it being difficult made it feel bigger. Anyhow, it is something that goes throughout the entire storyline, but like the really hard part is over, or at least what I felt was the really hard part was over fairly early. I want to say with it by like the first third of the book, you have got through the worst of it, and then it's just playing out for the rest of the book and paying attention to the actual plot of the story and the character development. And I always forget about one particular scene, and I won't say anything really spoiler, but if you've read it, or when you do get around to reading it, because you should, it's the scene where Angel is confronting Bear and Nick walks in. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say what the confrontation was, who said what, if there are or are not any reveals, but that scene is pretty peak. and all of the moments that come from that moment that are strung throughout the rest of the book and the next book, basically the rest of the series, because it's just one more book, definitely kind of stream from that moment. And I love the interactions. I love the dynamics between the characters. And it's definitely a series that makes me grin and makes me laugh out loud. And I just want to hug them all. I really just, like, that angry kind of hug, like that, oh, I love it so much, I just want to hug everyone. I love you so much, I want to squeeze you until you die, kind of unhinged loving. There's a Filipino word for it that I cannot remember, but essentially it means a cuteness that is just too much. And I will find out what that word is and put it in the text on the edit. But it's a very specific kind of feeling. There's not like a real translation. It's almost like cuteness that inspires rage. Like, it's so cute you're angry about it. But anyway, that's how I feel about this series. Like there's plenty of like not cute things about this series. It's about zombies and like the hardships of growing up poor and the hardships of growing up with prejudices, and it's about social stratospheres and breaking through those social stratospheres and economic strain, and it's about it's just so many things. It's just so good. Anyhow, if you haven't read it, read it. If you have read it, please talk to me about it in the comments, because I need to talk to people about this series. And then I also started a romance. And the title is Until Him by Rose something, I think. Anyhow, I will put the cover here because it's just an audiobook. I don't have anything to hold up. But at first I thought that maybe, like, I don't know. It's definitely inspiring me to do a video soon talking about the gay for you trope. I won't dig really deep into it because I do want to save it for that video, but it made me think of how some people really hate the gay for you trope, and I understand where they're coming from and the ick that they feel about that. But as a bi person who figured shit out late, I really, especially being a demisexual bi person, I really think that the gay for you trope should be a take it or leave it if you like it or don't, and not something that should be like thrown in jail. Like all those videos that have been going up for the last year, like all of last year, I swear, was this trope needs to go to jail. This trope needs to go to jail. This trope needs to go to jail. And I have seen so many people put the gay for you trope in jail. And I just don't think it belongs there, especially because it dismisses the experience of somebody like me, where maybe you don't figure it out until someone specific hits the right buttons to unlock you, or has the right keys. I don't know. Like, and especially if there's somebody like me where they're demisexual and there are so many different layers to what equals attraction and how complicated it can get. And I really feel that putting that trope in jail just dismisses a lot of the nuances that the trope really does develop. And there are definitely some books that do the gay for you trope in the icky way, but at least in my reading experiences, that's not been the case for the majority of the gay for you books that I have read. And anyhow, not gonna dig into that. Save it for another video. And that's my reading update and my writing update for the day. Catch you next time. Good morning. You guys are getting fresh out of bed. Too many thoughts to stay asleep, Val. Like, I'm wiped out because I took forever to fall asleep. And then when I finally did fall asleep, I was awake at 5:30. I've spent the last couple of hours desperately trying to go back to sleep. It's now 7:30 and I give up. So anyhow, or no, it's not 7:30, it's 6:30. Daylight savings time is fucking with me. Especially because we still haven't fixed the microwave clock. For whatever reason, that's the clock that I go to first when I'm wandering around. I have my phone in my hand, but that's the clock I look at. Don't ask me why. It just is how it is. So anyhow, 6:30 in the morning. I've been laying in bed trying to sleep for the last hour, and I gave up. And then I realized that I had a spot on my bingo board from for NaNoWriMo, which I will tell you about in a minute, because for some reason I haven't talked about it yet. But I have one spot on my bingo board that I could scratch off right now, especially with my head racing the way it is. I'm sure I can dump out a shitload of something. I don't know what. I'm going to just pick one of the stories and start writing and see what happens. And if I hate it, I will change the font to strike through and keep going. But anyway, regardless, the bingo board. So, the people who run the Elsewhere Utah Rhymos, they have been doing, for the last few years at least, they've been doing bingo boards, where, and I'll put the bingo board for this year up here. But yeah, they've been doing bingo boards, and I have a unmarked box on it that I can add for writing before sunrise. I've already done the writing past midnight, and now I can do the writing before sunrise, because you can't count the two as the same, which I find funny that they had to clarify it, but I totally understand why they had to clarify that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll probably talk more about the bingo board in the next clip or somewhere down the line. I don't know. But I'm gonna get to writing before I talk myself out of it. Wish me luck. Hello. It is a little after 8 a.m. and the sun is officially up. I got to mark off my bingo board. I'll put that here, and maybe I'll go over what I've marked off so far. Let's see. Let me pull it up. Alright, so I've switched the position of the camera so that I can read my computer and record at the same time. So, alright. Basically, I'll have the bingo board up on the screen here. So starting at the top left and moving to the right and then down to the right and so on is how I'm going to read these. And then I'll tell you which ones I have marked off so far. So the top left square, it says wrote 25,000 words. I have not marked that one off. Although if I were trying to do the traditional word count, this would be a point in my writing where I would want to be at about the 25,000 word count, because that's halfway there. Not that I really needed to explain that, but I don't know. We'll see if this survives the editing. All right, so the next square is 15-day writing streak, and I did get to mark that off. Next is wrote without electronics, which I have not written off yet, or marked off yet. And then encouraged another Rimo. I have marked that one off. Attended a write-in. I have marked that one off. Backed up your files, and I've marked that one off. Wrote 10,000 words. Did not mark that one yet. Wrote 5,000 words in one day. Have not marked that one. Joined a word sprint. I've marked that one off. Wrote before the sunrise. I just marked that one off today. Took a nap. Marked that one off. Oh, sorry, this one's got really tiny writing. Oh, yeah. Wrote after midnight, and then the reason it has so much words in it, so it's a tinier writing, is this is the one that has the and this cannot be the same writing session as wrote before sunrise. And then the center of the bingo board is wrote 50,000 words. And then we've got posted in Nano forums, not Discord, ordered or donated in the Nano store, which I'll talk about that also. I don't think I've talked about that yet. Killed a character. Wrote instead of work/school. I've marked that off. Added a buddy. Marked that off. I added 2 buddies, which for me is a lot. Last year I didn't add any buddies. And buddies are basically adding friends or following somebody on the NaNoWriMo organization site. And I need to talk about that too. So many things. Sorry about this patchwork picture that I'm building for you of NaNoWriMo. Hopefully I can maybe be more organized about it later on in the journey. But this is the Seat of the Pants channel. It just is. I can't do it any other way. It just won't happen if I don't. The ADHD is too strong with this one. So the next one is wrote 30,000 words, and I have not marked that one off. And then had a eureka moment. I marked that one off, and this is the first Nano that I have had several of those, and I really think that is mostly because I'm writing short stories, like several stories at once. So I've got several projects rolling, and I think this suits my ADHD brain a bit more, that I'm bouncing between different stories, and maybe that's part of why I have a hard time completing anything, is what I'm hoping that I'm figuring out something. I feel like I'm in the process of figuring out something about my writing process this year, and I think maybe that's kind of part of it, and maybe it's a bit of the how ADHD affects me and my writing. I got distracted. Where was I? Included a pet in your story. I have not done that yet. I don't know if I will, but I probably will. I tend to write pets into stories. Made daily word count goal before noon. Not only have I not done it before noon, I have not done it at all this NaNoWriMo. There have been NaNoWriMos where I've written over 5,000 words in a day, and the word count goal is 1,667 words. And I have not made that a single day this month. However, I have written every day, and I have done a lot of the mental work with it. Whereas before, I was forcing myself to sit and write, even when, and I don't know, it just wasn't productive. It wasn't really productive. Like, words were happening, but they weren't words I was really gonna keep, and I was just forcing words out, and it was just word salad. Essentially, word salad with a theme is, I think, what most of my nano writing has been. And again, snail's pace, but it is consistent. It is like in that I'm writing daily, and I feel good about every word that I've written so far. Continuing on, started multiple projects. I have marked that off because that is my project, is multiple projects. Drank water and ate snack. I have indeed done this several times. Wrote 15,000 words. I have not done that yet. So here is my final, so far, bingo board. And I was looking at this and I realized that if I can make my daily word count goal before noon and get to 10,000 words, I can get my bingo. So I think those might be what I go for. Another way I might be able to pull this off is if I order something from the Nano store or donate and then get to 15,000 words. So right now, those are my two best chances of getting to bingo. So the MLs in my area, in my region, for this bingo board, they are also doing bingo prizes. And while I know I will never get the black hat, it's just not gonna happen. I am pretty sure I can get a bingo. There is I still don't know. This is going to be a last minute. There is a in-person meetup in Orem, and that is like an hour and a half away, and I might go. I am considering it. I am strongly considering it. I've been very much on the fence about it, but I think I want to do it. I think I'm going to do it. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. You will find out shortly. Hello, I am actually going to go to the in-person meetup in Orem. We'll see how it goes. It's supposed to be from 7 until 10 o'clock tonight. So I'm leaving now, which is just past 5, to give myself a little extra time in the canyon just in case, because it is a little bit ominous out. It was raining early this morning, and it hasn't really rained all day, but it's definitely cloudy. Here, I'll show you. So super cloudy and ominous and dramatic, and I kind of love it. So it'll be a nice drive in the canyon. We'll see if I get any B-roll anywhere along the way. Depends on how comfortable I feel when I get there with doing filming of any variety. So there may be B-roll, there may not be. I am hoping to at least get the outside of the building. It's a place called Chocolate, and it's a dessert cafe. I think that sounds wonderful. And while my endocrinologist
would not necessarily approve. I don't think she would really hold an occasional indulgence against me, since I'm doing very well. My numbers are fantastic, and I think I deserve some ridiculous desserts. So at the very least, I think I'll give you some B-roll of whatever it is I end up picking up at chocolate. And yeah, I will update you in just a moment.
Hello, I am back from my trip up north. It was wonderful. It was so good. I didn't end up doing any B-roll because I was just having too much fun to even like bring up filming any of it. It was so good. I was pleasantly surprised to find that a large percentage of the people who showed up were fellow queer folk, and that was wonderful. I definitely, living here, I don't know, I miss being around my people. Like, just witnessing them existing in the world just makes my soul happy. It just settles something in me. And it was great to meet so many people that I had so much in common with. Like, a shocking amount of things in common with. Like, even down to, like, career stuff. I definitely indulged in the sugar. Oh boy. I will probably be living on vegetables for the next couple of days to try and even my kill. But yeah, it was wonderful. And Jurgens, she said her online name a few times and it just didn't register in my brain. I can't say it right. But anyway, regardless, the ML for the area showed up, and she was fantastic. Well, I mean, obviously she showed up. She organized the meet. But she was fantastic and very extroverted. That's also a thing that I have missed, is I miss my extroverts. I am an ambivert, and I live with a couple of extreme introverts, and that's rough for me. I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of wears me out sometimes. I need some extroverts to extrovert with me. And it was nice. It was nice to have just, I don't know, a community, I guess. And we did I think we did like 3 sprints, and I did a lot of writing. Well, for me, it was a lot of writing. I think I wrote more today than I have written in any day so far this month. I think I wrote a little over 1,000 words. Like maybe 1,200 words total. I'd have to go through and add it up. But anyhow, regardless, it was wonderful. It was a good time. And like I said, I talked to my ML, and she gave me a list of tips for new folk, or for people who are finding themselves stuck, and in the writing process, the NaNoWriMo process. And it was all really great stuff. Things that I kind of was already doing myself, but she really put it in very clear, usable wording. I guess she's done a few, quite a few, workshops over the years for like nano prep and whatnot, but I've missed them anytime that they've taken place. Either I was working or out of town, or in the case of the most recent one, I passed out completely due to my meds. And so it was really kind of fun to get a quick rundown. And I think I'm going to do a video based on what she said and just kind of being more like clear about the structure of NaNoWriMo and what it is and how it's organized, because I know that the information that I've given in these vlogs has been very patchwork and in some points probably nonsensical if you don't already participate. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do a dedicated video to just talking about what Nano is and discussing strategies to make your way through Nano, and I'm gonna go over the getting unstuck tips that my ML gave me. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about all of this. Had a great time. Such a great time. I know I've said this like a billion times, but like I don't think I can say it enough. It was fantastic. Okay, so I need to unwind and go to bed because it is after midnight, and I already only slept like 2.5 hours last night, and I had a long day today, and I need to sleep tonight. But I am past the 5,000 mark, and that's fantastic. Like, well past the 5,000 mark, on my way to the 6,000 word count mark, and that feels really good. That feels like really good. I like for somebody trying to actually get to the 50,000, you'd be panicking. According to the NaNoWriMo website, I would need to write a little over 3,000 words a day to make it by the end of the month. And while I am capable of that some days, doing that every day for the rest of the month is not a thing that I could pull off, especially these days. And so anyway, I am definitely in the slap happy babble part of my energy levels. And I am going to be lucky if I can fall asleep. Like, I am both the really exhausted and absolutely wired in this moment. And I need to find a way to simmer down. So I will check in with you guys in the morning. Hi, it is Friday, and I am just now getting to the writing portion of my day. Everything else took much longer than I expected it to. It's nearly 7 now. But I am hoping to keep the momentum going that I had going yesterday. I did experience some strain and pain in my fingers during the writing sprints yesterday, but it hasn't persisted today, so I'm hoping that means that I will be able to get a significant chunk done tonight before midnight hits. And I also realized that I haven't really done a reading update recently, and I don't even remember what my last reading update consisted of. So if I don't finish talking about a book that I maybe completed between the last reading update and now, I will include it in my wrap-up. So if you have questions, you can either wait for that or feel free to put something in the comments and we'll have a chat there. So anyhow, reading update wise, I am currently reading the newest Murderbot Diaries book, Systems Collapse, and it's different. Like, it's still Murderbot. I'm still having a grand time, and I still adore it. I absolutely freaking adore it. I just cannot get enough of Murderbot. I did decide against reading the book that this picks up after, because I decided I wanted to read that book and this book together. Like, I wanted to do their rereads together. I am really enjoying it. It is definitely different. There's this thing that keeps happening, and it's got me, my brain is kind of going, I think I know what's happening. Like, the more this thing happens, the more I go, I think I know what this is, because of the context of what's happening around it. So basically, and this happens from like the first page, or at least what I assume is the first page. I'm listening to it on audiobook. But basically, Murderbot will be recounting what's happening or what's happened, and will reference something that happened that we haven't seen, and it can't have been like a whole other adventure or anything, because there's really like only the tiniest amount of time lapse between the previous book and this book, so it has to have happened in that tiny lapse of time. And so Murderbot will be discussing, what's happening around it, what it's doing, what's being said, and it will continually be like mid-sentence, it'll just be like da-da-da-da-da-da, redacted, da-da-da-da, and this redacted thing keeps occurring. And so it's the feel of how it's occurring, and the context from what's being said before and after, and how these occurrences of redacted come into play. I think I know what's happening. I think I know what redacted is, but I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But we'll see. And I will update you as soon as I've got some writing done. Okay, so time to wrap up the vlog for the week. I got 381 words this time, and that puts me at 5,556 words so far. So I finally broke the 5,000 mark. Yay. Now I just need to get to the 10,000 mark and get par before noon, and I'll get a bingo. So fingers crossed that I can do that soon. I figure if I keep trying for the par before noon, I will either succeed at that and or get myself closer to 10,000 words faster. So that's going to be my new daily goal in the mornings, is to get par before noon and see if I can't get a bingo. So I haven't been able to mark off any further bingo squares, so my card is still as it was the last time I showed it to you. And that is the end of the vlog, and I wish you guys the best in all of your endeavors, whatever they may be, and I'll see you next video. Stars shining bright above me. Night breezes seem to whisper sycamore tree. Dream a little dreamer. Hello to my kings, queens, and in-betweens. I'm Valerie, and welcome. Hello. Hello to my kings. I am doing. No, I don't know what I'm doing. Especially like. Oh, hello. Yeah. Come here. Ugh. Decided to get up really early? Decided? No.